Hey guys, Treasure Valley Resto Rod's back for just a quick update on the 85 Suburban. If you guys remember from the last video, when I said, oh, that flat tire, yeah, I'll just disregard that until it happens. Well, it happened. That is flatter than flat. So, I'm going to walk you through how to take that off, fill up the spare tire, and then throw the spare tire on there. So, come join me with this. Let's go. Okay, so really quick. I didn't I looked up, I tried to look up the torque spec for the tires, and I couldn't find anything that I thought was remotely close. So I just grabbed the torque wrench, and I went on the passenger side front tire, and I just slowly increased it by increments of 5 until I got to 125, and it clicked and slightly moved one of the bolts. So I'm going to call 125 the torque spec, and that's what I'm going to go ahead and use when I torque on this back right tire here. Okay, so I went out of my way, went through every impact socket that I had, found that 7/8 is the right size for these lug nuts. Grab yourself a breaker bar. I need an extension, and excuse the big rig. I did check the torque with the extension on, so that way I know what the torque is with the extension when I go to put the bolts back on with the torque wrench. But all we gotta do is throw this on here, see if we can't break these off, and then we'll go from there. Well, now that they're broke loose, what we gotta do, take our jack here, slide it under here, lift that tire up, and then pull the lug nuts the rest of the way off. Now the reason I broke them loose on the ground is because it's a lot easier to break them loose when the tire's not trying to spin on you. So if you just leave them laying on the ground and then break the lugs loose while it's on the ground, it'll actually come off a lot easier than if you had that tire sitting up in the air and it was spinning on you. So let's throw this thing under the truck. Well, the right thing to do would be chalk the wheels up front or something like that and stop this from rolling around on you when you lift these back tires up. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to throw this jack down here. Probably right there on that shock. Yep, right there. Gives it some leeway. And then just get this tire far enough off the ground, you can pull it off. And I can already see the object that has caused this tire to go flat. It's laying on the ground right there. I already knew it was there. I just decided to do the wrong thing and see how far I could push it before I had to do this or take it down to a local tire shop, because I didn't want to do either of those. So now we're sitting out here on the road on the asphalt, putting the spare tire on, which the spare tire ain't got no air in it. So after we put the spare tire on, we're going to have to go ahead and air that thing up too. Alright, let's pull this puppy off. Now, instead of using the breaker bar to try and take all these bolts off, I grabbed my tire iron here. And it's got a 7/8 option or a 22mm if you're of the metrics. But we're going to throw this on here and just spin these off so we're not taking all the time in the day using the breaker bar. Alright, now we've got the lug nuts off. And this whole reason is the reason I wasn't a fan of being a tire technician. It's because lifting and fighting and just knees hurting and back breaking at the end of the day. I wasn't a fan of it. Don't forget to put this back on when you put the spare on if you got one of these. And it goes through the back. But there, that tire's off. And I'll see if I can't show you. Where is it? There it is, right there. That puppy right there. That's the cause of it. It looks like a self-tapper that is now flat as a dime, but that's what was causing it. And I saw it, and it was a slow leak at first. So I just said, you know what? It's fine, I'll leave it. And then came out here yesterday, and she wasn't exactly full of air anymore. Look at how big these drums are. All right, well now we're back here in the back of the Suburban. And these things were pretty fancy, I'll be honest. It came with these little covers and everything. I don't want to be fighting for my life trying to get it off without ripping it again, but... Oh, come on now. Maybe we got to loosen it a bit. These are held in here just by this little doohickey, if you want to call it that. I had no clue. It's a weird nut with a... Well, it'd be more of a bolt because it's got threads on the end of it, but this thing just screws right into the side of your cab back there. That's it. So now I'll fight to get this loose. Let's see what we get from it. Alright. She's out now. But yeah, that thing just... I'll show you when I pull the tire out, but that thing... Oh, you can see it. That thread just screws right into the side of your cab back there. That's it. And now that this is loose, I should be able to get this carpet thing out. It's free. Lovely. And, well, it's got more air than the other one did. I've never taken this spare tire out, so I don't know. Oh, they're different rims. Oh, it's going to look ugly. Well, that's what you get with a spare tire. This one's not of the fancy. It's just a steely. But honestly, that's not bad. What are these? 235. Well, LT 235. 85 R16, huh? I was going to say maybe I had some dog dishes to throw on these, but... Not these, but this one. But it's I only got 15-inch dog dishes, not a 16. So we'll just go ahead, we'll throw this thing on and... Now, I'll be honest, when I pulled this out, I got a little scared. I thought it was bigger, but... And I was looking at it to see if the treads were anywhere close, because if you run two different size treads on your differential, you can screw it up pretty badly. But they're close enough to get me around town for a day or two, and maybe long enough to get this one patched. But look, they're not even the same rims. Steely on that one, fancy on this one. So I'll probably get yelled at by the wife for it being ugly, but honestly, you gotta do what you gotta do. So let's see if we can't throw this one up on there without having to jack it up any higher, which probably isn't gonna happen. That's not my luck. But, oh, you know what? I might have just hit home. Let's see if we can get this puppy on there. You want to throw your legs under these things, that way you kick the jack out, and well, if you were at work, you'd get insurance or whatever that's called, but not here, not here. Okay, come on now, there we go. And you'll never guess what I forgot to do. And I just realized it as I slid it on, so let's pull this thing back off. Ever so slightly. And see if, oh, for Pete's sake. Okay. Is it gonna fit? Well, got some bad news for you. That hole is smaller than that hole. So this is not going back on. Great, really gonna get yelled at by the wife now. This doesn't match. I know. Just saying. You wanted to go get coffee, so I had to put a tire back on. Alright, Now I'll go ahead and I'll throw these all back on here by hand. Oh, for Pete's sake. Just screw. Can you choose one you want to go on, please? That might be the closest we get. Okay. Putting lug nuts on. Let's try and do these by hand. If not, we'll probably go to using some tools, but let's try to put these puppies on by hand. Looks like we're doing tools. Go gingerly so you don't cross-set them. If it gets tight, take it off. Don't push it. And really quick, with these things, when you're putting lug nuts on or putting any tire on at all, star pattern. You want to tighten them down in a star pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on here in a star pattern, tighten them down in a star pattern, and then go back and I'm going to even torque them down in a star pattern just to make sure that it's evenly on here as much as possible. Because you don't want to go crazy with these things and just throw them on here like the NASCARs does. Their tires get changed so often it don't really matter how they put them on. But these, maybe not this one because it'll hopefully come off soon, but just these in general, they're on here for, I don't know, 100,000 miles, 60,000 miles, somewhere in there. So make sure you torque them on right. Just make sure that you're not going too crazy with them. And make sure you're putting them on here right. Otherwise, I've seen a couple tires come off. I'll be honest. I've seen a couple people lose their poor rigs. Well, not lose them, but have to put a lot more money into them because the tire decided to come off due to not wanting to get them torqued right. So just do them in a star pattern. You basically go across, 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 across. That's how you do it. So that's what we're going to do here. Alright, now that they're on here in a star pattern, double down, put them on in a star pattern, tighten them down in a star pattern, we're going to go ahead and lower that jack a smidge to where this is less able to spin when I'm doing any sort of thing to it. And then we'll come back with the torque wrench and we'll torque it down to 125, all of them, in a star pattern again. So, we'll do that. We're going to throw this puppy down just a smidge. Just a smidge. Just barely. Yep. Good enough for me. Alright. Let's grab the torque wrench. Torque wrench, extension, and socket secured. Let's throw these things on. What we're going to be looking for is a click. What did I say, 125? Is that really 125? Well, that's what the gauge says. Huh. That was that one, 125, huh? Yep, that's the click we're looking for, right there. That one to that one. That's your star pattern. You jump across. Yep, 125 again. Huh. Oh, that one's a little looser. There's the click. From there to there. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Yep. That's it. Alright, now you do it in a circle again. Make sure you did them all. The first one, you always do a star pattern. But when you check, you go around in a circle. You want to hear that click every time. Perfect. That's what we want to hear. Wow, we're at like 170 something Newton meters. Yeah, but we're worried about foot pounds. So 125, that's what these things are good for. Huh. Sounds about right to me. Well, let's get this thing back on the ground all the way. Lowering the jack. Yep. She's a bit low too, so we'll go grab the air compressor and throw, I'd say, about, oh, I don't know, 50, 55 pounds in her. Let's go do that. Now that I got the air compressor hooked up out here, and I got a 1.5 mile long extension cord ran to the house, we're gonna go throw air in this puppy. And I checked the other rear one. It said 59.5, I think is what it said. 59.5. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw 60 in this, just in case this has a little bit of a leak too. And then I'll call it good. Hopefully nothing else happens. My digital gauge just died, so I'm just gonna go find a Manuel one really quick. I'll be right back. Alright, here's the deal. Couldn't find a manual one. So what I'm gonna do is throw this on here and just go until this tire looks like the other tire. Because that's the right thing to do. Remember, that's just worked for us so great up until now, just doing the wrong thing for the right purpose. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Don't know how old this tire is either, so. That's the right thing to do. Grab the one with all the sidewall cracks in it. Hey, the gauge came on. What? 42.2 now. I'm gonna call it a 55 because my nerves are getting a little shaken up about this tire. 55 is good. We're only off by 5 compared to the other side. So yeah, I'd say that was pretty successful. We'll see what else happens to this. Other than our fix on the ignition broke again, so I'm going to fix that just off camera. But yeah, that's not too bad, is it? That's good. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. Sorry Devin wasn't here, he's at work. So I did this quick one by myself, but thanks for hanging out with me again today. Devin appreciates this too. It'd be really cool if you guys decided to subscribe so you can keep coming back, but that's honestly up to you. Let's hope to see you again. Have a good rest of your day.